Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, we are going to be going over a story that was sent to me today titled, I found out my girlfriend was cheating, so I moved out without a word. I think this is a fantastic title, not because the woman cheated on him, she's obviously human garbage, but because the dude instantly moves out. He doesn't say a word. He just dips and leaves the situation immediately. I wish that more men did this, right? They would either leave if they don't own the house or whatever, or they would just kick the woman out immediately. No emotion, no reaction, just completely ditch the woman altogether. Fantastic stuff. So let's jump into this story and we will see what exactly happened here. When a man stumbled upon suspicious messages on his girlfriend's phone, he didn't react immediately. Instead, he spent months meticulously planning his exit, ensuring that his unfaithful partner would feel the weight of her betrayal. His methodical approach turned a devastating personal experience into a masterclass in revenge. So, turns out, he didn't leave immediately, but he did plan his exit. So let's see exactly kind of what he did. For 5 years, everything seemed ideal between the original poster and his girlfriend Jessica. He was a hardworking construction worker, loyal and committed, while she worked in sales and enjoyed a flexible work-from-home arrangement. The two shared common interests and they built a life together, but things took a bad turn when her behavior began to change. The original poster first noticed small but telling signs. Jessica had become more secretive with her phone, taking calls in another room, and frequently hiding her screen when he passed by. She grew distant, citing work stress and exhaustion as excuses for her dwindling affection. At first, he gave her the benefit of the doubt, chalking up her mood swings to workplace pressures, but as the days passed, his concern turned into suspicion. So what do we have here? Okay, we have a wife of 5 years hiding her phone, having suspicious conversations, withdrawing intimacy. Okay, this is just very typical, lining up to be a cheating story straight off the bat. Okay, imagine, guys, this is something that happens to a lot of men from what I've seen. But imagine, right, you marry a woman and she just withdraws intimacy from you. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's clearly not there because she's attracted to you or interested in you as a person, but she just immediately withdraws affection from you, especially as the years go on. Incredibly sad stuff, by the way, right? Incredibly sad stuff. And then oftentimes these women go and cheat with other dudes who they're actually attracted to because they weren't necessarily attracted to their husbands in the first place, because they're getting married for the resources that the men provide. So she's being all sketchy. She's being, you know, very questionable. The dude felt uneasy and he confided in his friend named James, who had been through a bitter divorce. James's response was blunt and unsettling. If she's a woman, she can cheat on you. It doesn't matter how good you are. While he initially dismissed this harsh perspective, it planted a seed of doubt that he couldn't shake. So this guy, he went and he spoke to his friend who had been divorced, and his friend who had been divorced said, hey, listen, this is serious. She can cheat on you, right? It doesn't matter if you're such a fantastic guy. You know, you're working in construction, you're doing your best to pay the bills or providing or whatever. Things like that don't actually matter at the end of the day. If she wants to cheat on you, she's going to cheat on your ass, right? Which makes a lot of sense. But of course, usually the first time dudes are married, right? Especially if this guy hasn't had many relationships before or he hasn't dealt with women much before, a lot of these guys think that the women can do no wrong whatsoever and they're not going to get cheated on. And they are the ones that get hurt the most when they get hit by reality for the first time. So, determined to find out the truth, he devised a plan. He created a comforting atmosphere one evening, cooked her favorite meal, and had a candlelit dinner before calmly confronting her. When asking directly if she was cheating, she reacted with shock and tears, right? Denying any wrongdoing. I'm sorry, guys, right? But if you come to a woman and you say, hey, are you cheating on me? Things have felt a little bit off lately, you know, bit of sketchy behavior, no intimacy, so on. And you bring this up to your wife or girlfriend or whatever because you're concerned, and her immediate reaction is to start crying, right? The shock and the tears, right? She's crying. That is a crazy response to have, guys. You know, this is the equivalent, right? Imagine I'm out there, okay? I'm in public, right? Me and my buddies, okay? We go and like get lunch somewhere or whatever. And then we return to the car park or something, right? And my buddy just turns to me and goes, "Hey, man, you know, I've got my work car has gone missing. I think you stole it." Do you think my reaction would be to get angry? Right? If I didn't steal the car, which obviously I wouldn't steal somebody's car, okay? If I didn't steal the car, do you really think I'd get mad at them? Right? Is that really the normal reaction we're going with here? Because if somebody asks me if I did something that I didn't do, right? I don't think sorry, tears. I don't think crying is the reaction I would do. Right? I think I'd probably laugh. And then if they were completely serious and accusing me, then I might get a bit angry and be like, "What the hell? Like, no, obviously I didn't steal your damn car, man." Okay. But shock and tears. Tears is a wild reaction for somebody to have if they haven't done anything wrong. You see, like the tears are guys, again, imagine if somebody came to me, my friend said, "Hey, I think you stole my car." And then my reaction was to start crying. How stupid that would be. Right? And that is because it is a manipulation tactic and it is not actually genuine. He said, but something about her response felt off. He decided to feign belief in her denial while secretly planning his next move. Again, dudes just like do all this evidence gathering and meticulous planning. The writing is there, man. Throw her out. Let's continue. Later that night, he waited until she was asleep before checking her phone. His heart pounded as he scrolled through her messages. He soon found a chat labeled Harry's Plumbing, a flimsy cover for her secret lover, Ethan. The conversation was filled with flirtation, intimate confessions, and explicit photos. The proof was undeniable. Instead of confronting her in a fit of rage, he took a different approach. He documented everything, took screenshots, and started planning his exit. Right, I think this is something that's a really wise idea to do, especially if you're a married guy. You know, taking your time, thinking logically, and trying to get out of it as unscathed as you possibly can is always the best kind of move, right? This isn't a married guy. I believe this is just a boyfriend and girlfriend, but depending on where you live, you know, common law marriage and things like this, always very wise to plan your exit and plan how you're going to go about leaving. With 3 months left on their lease, one signed in his name, he prepared to move out while ensuring that she wouldn't suspect a thing. On the day of Jessica's supposed late-night work event, he executed his plan. With the help of his friends, he packed all of his belongings, furniture, electronics, kitchenware, leaving the apartment nearly empty. So this dude, he calls his boys, right? He calls his friends, and he's like, "Hey, I need your help removing absolutely everything. Right? I need the removalist crew. Come and help me." And they all turn up and they help him move everything. Absolutely great. The only things left were a few items Jessica had brought into the relationship. Before leaving, he placed a single note on the counter. "Goodbye, have fun with Ethan." Ooh, absolutely roasted. And I love this, right? So check this out. He takes pretty much everything, right? Because they're his belongings. What does this mean? What this means is the woman bought screw all to the relationship. She didn't bring anything. Look, the dude bought the furniture. He bought the electronics. He bought the kitchenware. Okay, so when the man leaves with the things that he brought to the relationship, wouldn't you know it, the apartment is nearly empty. Right? It's funny how that works, guys. You know, the man who provides everything and so on, these are guys who oftentimes get treated the worst. Crazy. As expected, Jessica returned to find the apartment in shambles. His phone immediately exploded with calls and messages, alternating between rage and desperate pleas, because that's the logical thing to do, right? Anger and then desperate pleas, and then anger and then desperate pleas again. But he didn't respond, not once. He had already blocked her on social media and ensured that she had no way to reach him. Fantastic. See, I'd be very concerned about this too, man, is like, some of these women are crazy and they will literally hunt you down, and you're going to need a restraining order or something to protect yourself, okay? Like like some of these women are straight up crazy, guys. I have heard insane stories of dudes getting like their tires slashed and things like this, and you know, property damaged and so on. Move somewhere as safe as you can. Get a restraining order if you need. Get some cameras. You know, this guy works in construction. I'm sure he could set them up easy enough on wherever he happens to move in the short term. So taking things like that seriously is probably a good idea. Not only was she left alone, but she also couldn't afford the rent. Wow, without his financial support. The landlord soon contacted the guy, informing him that Jessica was struggling to find a new place. Without any financial backup, she faced eviction, so she's going to get evicted. Why don't you call Ethan? You know, why doesn't she get help from Ethan, I wonder? Weeks later, she managed to contact him through a blocked number. She was in tears, saying, "I'm sorry," and so on, but he remained unfazed. "You made your choices," he said. "Now live with them." And with that, he hung up, blocking her number for good. This is a fantastic way to handle it, by the way. Fantastic way to handle it. Get her out immediately. See you later. Looking back, he had no regrets. He dodged a bullet. He wasn't married, had no financial ties to her, and walked away with his dignity intact. His story serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes revenge is the best revenge is silence. By cutting her off completely and ensuring that she suffered the direct consequences of her betrayal, he regained control of his life. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. So she came home. Everything was gone from the apartment because she didn't contribute anything to it. Everything was gone. He immediately left. You know, the dude that she was cheating with obviously didn't want to help her pay the bills. And in all likelihood, she's probably getting her ass evicted. That is very funny. Great ending. And good on the man for immediately leaving this horrible person. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, do not forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.